That's the sound of The Dip heading in the love direction. It's the title track from the band's fourth album. The six-piece released the record back in July. So here's horn player Levi Gillis with an update on how it's been received.
It's been pretty good. Yeah, I would say we're excited about it. I think we all had this feeling that this record, it's a little bit more maybe, cerebral or just like a little bit more moody in a way that I think our last record, Sticking With It, didn't have that same feeling. So I think I think this one's gonna kind of grow on people as the longer it's been out. And after seeing the tour, we're really excited to play these songs live. So I would say it hasn't been like, oh my God, this is totally blown up, but we're really stoked about having it out, and really excited for people to hear the music and start connecting with these songs.
Great. So that difference between the previous album and this one, was that something that was openly discussed among the band, or did it just kind of happen as you were making the record?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it was probably half openly discussed and half just sort of like mind meld, everyone in the band kind of like being connected and living our lives, and maybe reaching for something a little bit more mature, something a little bit more like let's explore some things on I think it's our fourth studio album, or fourth full album.
That's what I've been told, but
it's hard to keep track on my
hopefully you would know better than me.
Yeah.
All right. And with six members of the band, is it difficult to come to a decision about anything?
I mean, yes, sometimes it is. But our sort of workflow, we've been doing for like over 10 years now, which is a very democratic kind of like, everyone has a lot of say in the process. And, if somebody's not feeling it or wants to try to take a song a certain way, like everyone's very on board to give it a go. And we all really strive to hear everyone's ideas. So sometimes it takes a lot longer, than just one person doing their thing. But I think we end up reaching a better product, or at least something that we wouldn't have if just one of us were doing it. So I really appreciate that part of it.
And you're one of three horn players in the band.
Correct,
so
yeah.
Among the horn players, is there a hierarchy? Is it like I'm the sax player, so I get to say what's going, or I'm the trumpet player, or whatever?
No, definitely not. We're all sort of like equal footing for sure. Everyone, we're just throwing out our ideas. We write a lot of our parts by ear, and we just arrange them on the spot. Throughout the pandemic, we were sending things back and forth a lot. But everyone is contributing, and there are times when some people are more available to do more things than others in terms of like writing or arranging. So we just kind of like let it sort of steer itself naturally.
Okay, very cool. So let's just check out a tune or two from the album for folks who are watching this and want to hear what you sound like. Let's see, there's a video for the song Love Direction, which is the title track, which I think Tom wrote. And you guys they're sitting on the steps doing a little lip sync thing on a set. Tell me whatever you feel like, whether about the song, about the performance, the video.
Ooh, a little loving could go a long way. A little tenderness is all we hoping for. We've been traveling down the wrong way. Yeah, we need to back up and get some love directions.
That was a really fun video to make. We kind of hatched this sort of like ridiculous idea that we were going to build a set for this video, kind of based on an old video of Wes Montgomery from the 60s playing in a session in London with some European musicians. And we really loved the look of that. And we were like, it would be so cool if we could do something similar. And we were kind of like, we kind of went through the process of deciding, maybe like trying to figure out how much money it would take to, pay somebody to do it. It was kind of like, oh my gosh, like we don't really, there's a lot of us in the band and we want to, sort of be smart about that. And we were like, well, let's just do it ourselves.
Right.
So Tom and Brennan, the singer and the trumpet player, really kind of, they have, you know, some reasonable like home improvement DIY renovation experience, and I think Tom has worked on some construction, so they kind of got together and like planned the whole thing out. And then I sort of flew in and had a week, and the three of us and some of the others at the end kind of really just built this whole set in this big warehouse in Seattle. It was freezing cold. It was February in Seattle, and it was a cold snap, and so we were all like bundled up and just like nail guns, like painting it. And it was a really fun time. Like I didn't realize it would be that fun to put that together and really like get our hands dirty with that kind of thing. But that's kind of like how we like to do it in the end. So it really felt like just a part of the evolution of the band and how we just normally operate, which is just like, let's just do it ourselves.
Right. Well, I'm old enough to know that and remember watching music performance clips on TV in the 60s. And, you know, you definitely nailed the look, because I'm not familiar with the Wes Montgomery one, but, you know, things like on the Andy Williams show or on the Dean Martin show where they would have little sets like that. And it definitely caught the vibe.
Totally. Yeah. Thanks. Appreciate it. Glad
it's cool. And music wise, overall in general, since this is kind of my introduction to the band, what holds the six of you together? Is there a musical glue that is the basis for the band?
Yeah, I think, well, we've been friends for a long time. We all met at the University of Washington studying music. And that's partially the glue, is just a real long shared history.
Right.
But I think we formed the band with a little bit more of like a real love for like, for lack of a better word, soul music and like music from the 60s and stuff. But that's always been sort of like a part of what we do and what we're interested in. And I think maybe more than anything, the glue that holds us together is like a love for that music and a desire to explore different ways in which we can, achieve different sounds, maybe not within like the soul genre. I don't really feel like we're in that so much, but like to just explore each of our musical interests, and this band has been such a great venue for us all to do that.
Yeah. So would you say, because you're a horn player, that that's what brought you to the soul kind of R&B thing, because it's kind of used a lot in the classic soul? Or
yeah,
I mean,
I would say actually that my first interest in music was jazz, and
right.
So
yep.
I kind of came to soul music after that, basically.
Right.
Like I was in college, really studying jazz, studying the saxophone, and like really into John Coltrane, Miles Davis, you name it, Sonny Rollins, you name it. But
yep.
But then really like heard Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, like kind of a revivalist band, and we were like, dang.
Yeah,
like,
they've played here in Auckland, believe it or not.
Oh wow, cool. Yeah, that's amazing. I've seen them. Maybe I only saw them one time while Sharon was alive, but God, they were so good. Like the production was incredible, just such amazing vibe in what they did, and we all really gravitated towards that. And seeing a band doing that, like being able to see them live, like not just hearing from recordings, just being able to like really interact with that was so inspiring to us. So that was kind of like a starting off point.
Right. Okay. Now you guys have a track called "Fill My Cup," which, if I'm not mistaken, there's a pedal steel in the middle of that somewhere, which is I didn't see it coming. Let's put it that way. How did that happen?
But your love is like a cool drink of water when my well's dried up and I'm down to my last drop. You fill my cup, fill my cup.
That was the song that Brennan, the trumpet player, wrote, and we kind of had the bass line tracking done for it, and we were like, kind of need something else. And I think our go-to maybe a few years ago would have been like, yeah, just put another electric guitar on it.
Right.
But we were kind of like, maybe there's this other thing that could be cool. And we had a mutual contact with a mutual friend of Will Van Horn. And we've never met him, but sort of like just asked him because I think Brennan was actually has been a real big fan of his for a while. So he sort of like, I think, spearheaded that, and we asked him, and he was kind enough to lend some sounds to that one. But I really like how that turned out. Yeah, it's sort of like, is this a country song or is it not? But I think it straddles those things nicely.
Well, country music is different than what it used to be. So it kind of encompasses pretty much everything, and people who are more open to hearing those sounds, I think, than there used to be kind of a stereotype attached with as soon as you hear a fiddle or a pedal steel or a harmonica, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, totally. I know. It's funny. I love when genres are kind of subverted like that.
Yeah. And you wrote a song, you wrote Easy Love, right? The instrumental that's on the record.
Yeah, I did. That was kind of my initial demo was what sort of birthed that one. Yeah.
So, and is it very different from the demo from what we hear?
Yeah, I would say the verse section is pretty different. Or there's no verse or chorus, but I guess the B section or something. Yeah, we kind of, there's a certain amount of rewriting or like just workshopping that went on. There's some parts that are really similar. I would say the horn lines are basically the same.
Right.
There's some harmonic moments that are different, but yeah, it's really, that one was really fun too. I think that one was cool for me because the demo really couldn't get across what I was hearing in my head, especially the end section with it being a drum solo,
right?
And kind of like really getting crazy with it. Like there was no real way for me in my little home studio to achieve that. So it was really cool to hear that come together as we were recording.
Okay. And when anybody in the band, you or anyone, brings a song to the band, how does that usually work? Do you bring it when you're rehearsing, or is there emails that go back and forth, or how does it happen?
Yeah, typically for the last few years, we've been doing it where we basically have like a writing retreat or a writing session where we like lock ourselves in our studio or go somewhere else. And we kind of like set it up. So it's like, okay, here's a window for demos, like get your demos in and then pick two, and everyone will have the opportunity to bring in 2 demos, and we'll just work on it and see what comes of that. And it's really, once we bring it to the group, it's like your demo just becomes, it's not yours anymore. It's the group's demo. And there's like a real sense of like sharing of ideas. Those are some of my favorite times in the band, I would say, writing process. And usually we try to pair it with some kind of fun activities in the evening, cooking dinners together or something.
Any surfing? Anybody else surf?
Yeah, I wish, that's that's on the next list. I'll be like, all right, we're doing the writing retreat in the Maldives or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, the title of the album is Love Direction, and is there kind of a concept, because it ends with Let Love In, which is kind of, to my ears, sounds like an elegy for love, and so obviously that's possibly a thing that goes throughout the record. Was that something that was talked about?
Something seems different, and you can't hold it in. Did you meet somebody new, or is it that old flame again? Ever your guard up, armor up to your chin? Why don't you let love
I think that kind of like those through lines honestly ended up being sort of something we discovered after all these songs came together.
A byproduct.
Yeah, like we were kind of like, and I think this kind of speaks to that kind of what I was talking about with the mind meld. Like we didn't really talk about that before we started writing. We were just kind of writing, and a lot of the lyrics that Tom was coming in with, like, just had to do with these sort of different directions, different pieces of love. And I think as we've all sort of like been in and out of long relationships, these things kind of come up, and you just are, forced to make choices, make decisions, consider, just what you need, what your partner needs. And I think that the Let Love In was a nice one to end on, because I think it does capture something about kind of a positivity around it, which
all right,
feels good to me, at least. So.
All right. So 2 months out from release, where are you in the band now? Are you out touring? Are you thinking about the next record? Are you relaxing? What's the status?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say we're relaxing. We've been doing some touring. We are about to head out for a week, doing a couple festivals and opening for the Black Pumas on the East Coast.
Oh, right. They're great. Love them.
Yeah. So we're excited about that. And then we have a big headline U.S. tour starting in October, mid-October. So we're doing a big loop around the country. Really excited for those shows. They're selling super well, and excited to just bring the new music to everyone.
What kind of people come out to your shows when you're headlining?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say, I honestly would say it's a pretty good range. We get some older folks, and we get people who are like our same age, like early to mid 30s. And we also have been having a fun time when the shows are not 21 and up. We get sometimes we get some high school students, some early college students, and that's super fun too. So,
yep, because they got to be thrilled about seeing real music in a real place played by real people, right?
Yeah, I would hope so. I like going to see like instrumentalists, or people playing instruments, and I hope that translates into the youth, as it were. But
the youth, yes, indeed. Yes. And do you see yourself making like a jazz album sometime on your own, or?
Yeah, you mean like as the Dip?
Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah, totally. I think, like there's definitely. But we've done a couple of these instrumental EPs. Like we've done 2 of these 4-song EPs that are instrumental, and those sometimes lean into a little bit different musical territory. I don't know. I don't know if we'd ever do like a straight up swing record, but I think there might be another instrumental EP in the works in which we would kind of like try to push some of those boundaries too. So
there you go. Yeah, that sounds like fun. All right, very good. I'll let you go then. Thank you very much for sharing all that with me. Appreciate it. Good luck with everything, and hopefully we'll see you down here sometime soon.
Awesome. I would love that. Thanks a lot, Marty. Appreciate it.
All right, see you. Righto.
All right, take it easy.
Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram, and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.